Hey, I'm Tim. Welcome to the Mr. Maple Show.
Hey guys, I'm Matt. Like, subscribe, and share. We love those things. Today we're bringing you the Saturday Showcase, backed by popular demand, Acer Japonicum. So we're going to be breaking down some more Acer Japonicums. If you haven't already, check out part 1 of the series where we break down Acer Japonicums. These Saturday Showcases, we love breaking them down by different categories. We've talked about country of origin. We've talked about different nurseries that introduce things. And we love breaking them down by species. So today we're back with part 2. Part 1 was a huge hit. You guys loved it. You said we need more. So we're back with some more Japonicums to talk to you about on the Saturday Showcase.
The full moon Japanese maple. They're one of our favorites. There aren't a whole lot of selections of Acer Japonicums, but typically they're called, the common name is the full moon maple because that leaf is typically more larger and more rounded, almost like a full moon. Now, Acer Japonicums give amazing fall colors. I mean, we love them because that thicker leaf just allows for that fall color to really start off really well and really go well throughout the season. They're very consistent on their fall colors with the Acer Japonicum selections. I know we were recently down at Tom Cox's down in Canton, Georgia, and he had them all up and down his driveway. And he said, people need to use Acer Japonicums more. And I wholeheartedly agree with that statement.
Tom's got a huge conifer collection, so he's adding that winter interest, that fall interest, with a ton of Acer Japonicums. It's bringing that fall color, it's bringing that deciduous splash to the conifer area, and really brightening up an area. I mean, it's interesting that he went so heavy into Japonicums because the guy's known for conifers. So it makes sense to add one of the most intense fall displays to a conifer garden.
Yeah, that's for sure. And there's so many different neat traits in Acer Japonicum. I mean, there's a lot less selections of Acer Japonicum than there are of Acer Palmatum.
That said, we could probably do 5 parts to this.
Yeah,
easily.
I know.
We got a lot.
We got a lot of Acer Japonicums, and we love them. I mean, they're some of our favorites. I know there's plenty of people who love them too, who watch our channels daily. And they're just amazing. I mean, everyone always says, where's the Japonicum? Where's the Japonicums? Where I'm hoping these Japonicum showcases really bring the heat.
So guys, we brought some different interesting ones here to the table. We did a part 1. We broke down 5 different trees, and we kind of get a diverse mix going on here. And no different today. Today we're going to start out with Acer Japonicum Rising Sun.
Now, Rising Sun is a boring Oregon introduction that is pretty amazing.
But it's anything from boring.
It's anything but boring. It has a really large Acer Japonicum leaf. And it's one of the larger leaves of any of the Acer Japonicums.
You rolled into that like, it's a boring Oregon introduction. And I'm like, people are going to be like, Tim thinks it's boring. It's from boring Oregon. So it's anything but boring. This is a great one, especially for fall color. It's a large leaf Japonicum. I think there's always a lot to be said about what's in a name. Rising Sun is always popular. It has that large round leaf to it. When that fall color hits it, you can get reds, yellows, and oranges all in that large leaf at the same time. And that's really what it evokes, that rising sun kind of metaphor for the color. You know, Japan is known as the land of the rising sun, and Acer Japonicum being the rising sun makes a lot of sense. It is a beautiful tree that goes through a lot of changes. Now, these are also going to have a large red tassel flower that's very prominent in the early spring. This one tends to be in that 10 to 12 foot range in 10 years, so a little bit over a foot of growth a year, making it slightly faster growing than some, but an excellent large leaf Japonicum to be adding to the landscape.
What I love about Rising Sun is that large leaf. I mean, we're talking dinner plate sizes on those leaves. It's one of the largest of any of them. And when you have that palette for fall color, I mean, it's like painting a picture on a bigger portrait. I mean, you've got that bigger canvas to work with the fall color on Rising Sun. And it's one of those plants that just gives amazing fall color. Now, what I love about these large leaf Japonicums is those leaves are so large, they can really give a tropical-like feel out in the landscape and garden. I mean, it's unique because you can see and feel the essence of Japan with Acer Japonicums.
Right. Now, all these are grafted onto Acer Palmatum. They're a close cousin relative to Acer Palmatum, and all these are going to work zones 5 through 9. Now, that said, you're going to want to give Japonicums some late afternoon shade in zones 8 and 9 typically. There are a few that can handle sun in zone 8, but you're going to have your best foliage, best fall color, and also your largest foliage if you can give them a little bit of late day shade, especially in that heavy zone 8. You get the even bigger foliage. Sometimes in sun you get a lot of nice new growth, but the foliage tends to be a little bit smaller overall.
So next up, we've got an Acer Japonicum selection from down under. That's right, Japanese maples are not just a phenomenon in Japan, they're all over the world. Fairy Lights was a selection from Australia, and it really is one of the slower growing Acer Japonicum, and really the lace leaf version of the Acer Japonicums.
Fair warning, guys, if you're getting these from us, they're not huge. It's kind of a slow grower. This one, even in 10 years, is no more than about 3 feet tall. We listed it 2 to 3 feet tall, about 2 to 3 feet wide. It's one of the most compact forms of Acer Japonicum, making it very popular for fairy gardens. So that Fairy Lights name perfectly illustrates what you can use this one for. It's excellent for container gardening, or in the fairy garden or in the landscape. It's a small, compact tree. Really brings a lot of nice oranges to yellows in that fall color as well.
I would say for a dwarf Japanese maple, this one perhaps has one of the best fall colors of any of the dwarfs. I mean, this one can be lit up with yellows, oranges, and reds all at the same time and really light up those smaller spaces. I love what Fairy Lights can do because it is a lace leaf version. So that leaf is a little more full than a typical lace leaf. It's definitely more full and rounded than a typical Acer palmatum dissectum, being an Acer Japonicum. But this thing is just such a slow grower. It fits in all those small spaces and is one that's easy to grow in containers because of its slower growth habit.
Because of the name Fairy Lights too, it's a fun one for kids. I've got 2 daughters and they'll always ask about the fairy lights in the garden. It's an easy one for them to remember. That mythological name kind of gives it something a little bit extra that sticks in kids' mind. So you're always going to have those kids that want to go back and check on the fairy in the garden because it just sounds so interesting to them. And Fairy Lights makes a perfect little compact house that you could see being a house for a fairy. And it just lights up the garden, especially in that fall time. It is a very nice, compact, dense habit. This one's going to fit excellent in that Makawa garden, if you got a small Makawa garden or dwarf conifer garden, because it's not a tree that requires a lot of space to put on a huge display.
I mean, of all the Japonicum selections we grow, I would say between this one and Gossamer, those are the slowest growing Acer Japonicums.
For sure, for sure.
And it's an amazing plant to use out in the landscape and garden. It seems to be easy to grow. I mean, it seems to be an easier plant to grow. It's just slow growing in the process, which means it's a great tree for most people's garden because everyone's garden is constantly just getting smaller and smaller.
Right. So we go from one of the slowest growers to one of the fastest growers. Next up on the table, we have Acer Japonicum Emmett's Pumpkin. Now, this is an awesome large leaf form that gives you some pumpkin-like displays.
Now, this one has those larger leaves like Matt talked about, but then goes to the pumpkin orange in the fall. And this one is almost very consistently more on that slightly yellow to pumpkin orange color. And that's really where it gets its name because that large leaf looks like a big pumpkin.
Very consistent, bold orange for us on this one. Now, if you can give it some early morning sun, late day shade, you can actually get some orange hues in that spring color as well. So it's kind of like Blushing Beauty. Maybe not as prominent as Blushing Beauty, but you definitely get some over blushing of bright orange in this one, which I think really adds something for that spring garden, especially with that red tassel flower. Now, Emmett's Pumpkin tends to be one of our faster growing of the upright Japonicum. So it's a great one for a lot of people that want a Japonicum that's going to get out there and grow a little faster. For us, it's typically over 1 foot to 1.5 foot of growth a year, making it by far one of the fastest Acer Japonicums.
Now, comparing the leaf of Emmett's Pumpkin to something like the Rising Sun, the leaf is very oblong and is very more oval shaped, but is often not as divided as something like the Rising Sun, where the Rising Sun will have a little more divisions to it. This one is going to be a little more rounded, a little more fuller leaf, and with not as deeply cut of a division as the Rising Sun. So the leaf shape's very different, but the thing that really makes this tree stand out is that pumpkin orange fall color.
It's probably one of the most consistent orange fall colors we have. Now, it's typically orange early to more of a bold red late. As you get later into that fall color, it kind of morphs a little bit more. You start out more intense orange, and then you can get a little bit of reds in there late. We have a really nice size one of these in our display garden there at our parents' home that we planted. And it's not that old of a tree, but it's a nice size plant. It's filled out quite nicely there in the landscape. And I love it for that. I think it's a Japonicum you can add to your landscape and get a very mature size plant, at a younger age, and just really brings a lot in the landscape. You compare this with really any of your other Japanese maples because the color and the texture are going to look so awesome next to a Japanese maple collection.
Yeah, that's for sure. So next up, we've got Acer Japonicum Abby's Weeping. Now, what I like about Abby's Weeping is it's really that in-between stage between Fairy Lights and Green Cascade.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a slower growing, heavily cascading Acer Japonicum.
Now, I'll tell you what I like about this one is that it has a very unique fall color. This one typically gets a little bit more purple with yellows in it. We get some really funky shades of like purple red on this one to almost fuchsia. It's one of the more unique fall color weeping ones, I think. It tends to stand out for me a little bit and that it tends to be almost more purple each year. I mean,
Yeah.
you get that purple shade with kind of a yellow eye. Again, another compact dwarf. This one's typically going to be 3 to 4 feet tall by 3 to 4 feet wide in that 10-year period, making it a very nice compact habit. This one's going to look great in the conifer garden, the maple garden, or in a small container planter. Makes a perfect small container planter. We tend to stake it up to about 3 feet, then let it fill out and get some width and divide out from there. Kind of make more of that lower weeping habit on its own from there. But really nice one to be adding to the garden. And as always with any of these Acer Japonicums, the fall color is what we talk about a lot.
And this one is a lace leaf version of the Acer Japonicums. So we'll have that heavily divided leaf, but it's still a more rounded, fuller leaf on that Acer Japonicum.
Shout out to Michael James. I know he asks about Abby's Weeping all the time. It's coming back. If it's not already in stock, we'll definitely try to help you out getting one of those. It is a fan favorite for a good reason, though.
And again, this is one of the slower growing Acer Japonicums as well. Not quite as slow as the fairy lights, but it is a nice slow dwarf, so it fits in a lot of smaller spaces. And being it has a slightly more weeping habit, it really stands out in the landscape and garden.
So last up here on the table, we got another of Brian Rule's favorites. We've got Acer Japonicum Indian Summer. Now this is a Dutch selection that is known for having some really crazy fall colors. That's really why it was selected.
And this is a plant that will have patches of yellow, patches of orange, and patches of red all across the tree all at the same time. And sometimes some leaves will be mixed between yellow and orange and red, but a lot of times it'll be patches of yellow leaves, patches of orange leaves, and patches of red leaves. And it just gives this crazy fall color display that you don't see in many other plants.
Oh, it's amazing. It's one that lights up the garden there. It contrasts with itself so well. So, I mean, as you're getting into those fall colors, you kind of get yellows, orange, and reds, like Tim was saying, all on the same plant, all at the same time, which is intense. Instead of just morphing through these colors, it's not uncommon to see each of those colors expressed at the exact same time, making it crazy colorful. Now, this one also has some interesting spring colors. It can kind of blush some shades over top of that spring color as well. I've had yellows as well as light reds.
Now, we've read online on UBC forum that this was a seedling from Vidifolium, but we've also read from the people who introduced it that they said it was a seedling from Aconitifolium, which makes us wonder if this was a seedling from the Aconitifolium that was at the same type that's at the National Arboretum, and that's at,
which looks more like Vidifolium.
And or the parent plant to Gossamer, which was at Red Maple Nurseries.
Really cool plant, large leaf to this, kind of that mid-sized large leaf, I would say. It's certainly not going to reach some of the largest sizes, like your Rising Sun over here. It's going to be kind of right in the middle, a little bit larger than Taki no Gawa on the leaf shape. A little bit more of what I like about a traditional Japanese Acer Japonicum there in the native landscape in Japan. We got to go to Japan and kind of look at how maples were growing in their native habitat, and this one kind of reminds me a little bit about what I was seeing there in the native habitat. It has that more rounded mid-sized leaf. It looks a little bit more like your native Japanese Acer Japonicum.
Yeah, it definitely does. But again, the thing that really makes this one stand out is those three-tone fall colors.
Yeah.
I mean, you get that fall color that's just all across the spectrum.
Right.
That makes this thing just amazing. I mean, often, something like the Rising Sun, we can have yellow, orange, and red all on the same leaf.
Right.
And while you might find that on Indian Summer, what makes this so amazing is you get the patches of leaves sometimes that are completely yellow,
yeah,
completely orange, and completely red.
Rarely seen in America. Like I said, it was a Dutch selection, so it hadn't been as popular in America yet. I think as it gets out there in production, it'll get even more popular. But it's certainly an Acer Japonicum that brings a lot of high intensity, especially to that fall garden.
I like it because it's just so unique. I mean, it's that mid to larger size leaf, and then the fact that the fall color stands out, it really brings something to the Acer Japonicums that are already out there.
Oh yeah, it's a favorite for a reason amongst maple collectors. It's a very nice plant. Typically a little over a foot of growth a year on this one, so right in the middle as far as height range. Great plant though, and one we're glad to be offering again here at MrMaple. Now, these sizes are kind of typical of what we're offering right now in 2022. If you're watching this a year later, they might be slightly larger or slightly smaller. But we love to get these Acer Japonicum showcases for you guys. We're hanging on to just a little bit of foliage left here at the nursery, but we wanted to grab these and talk to you about them because we love talking about Japanese maples. That's what we do here on our channel. It's what we're passionate about. And if you're passionate about Japanese maples, hey, please take a second, like, subscribe, and share. It goes a long way toward helping this channel grow. If we're getting a great response on the subscription, we're always going to be putting out more content for you guys. So we definitely appreciate that, but we really appreciate you sharing it with new people who may not already be subscribed to our channel. that helps us out so much.
Yeah, and thank y'all so much for letting us talk about Acer Japonicums. I know people have been begging for it. We listen to the comments, so if you put it in the comment section, we definitely check those out. And this is something we're passionate about. We love these Acer Japonicums big time. Of Japanese maples, these are some of our favorites. We plant tons and tons of these. And hopefully you can start planting some of these pretty soon too. A lot of these, if they're not listed right now, might be coming to a 10 at 10 sometime soon. So make sure you're signed up for our weekly emails on MrMaple.com so you'll get that heads up when these Acer Japonicums are getting listed.
Take care.
God bless.
Have a great day.